Hey boys and girls, it's Miss Southard here and welcome to my video on how to collect data. So hopefully you created your rain gauge and it looks something like this. And in this video I'm going to show you how to look at the rain gauge and take measurements. We're going to record these measurements and that's called collecting data. So let's take a look over here at this chart. When we collect data, we're going to, for this experiment, try to record something for the last 5 days in March. So starting from Friday, March 27th. When you go to check your rain gauge, you kind of want to try to see if you can do it around the same time every day. If not, that's okay too. Just do the best you can. And when we look at the amount of rainfall, we're going to look at the rain gauge, and then we're going to add something to our data, which is the temperature. We're going to record what was the temperature at the time that you collected the measurement. So in order to do that, and I will send a link with the directions to this, you're going to try kidsweatherreport.com. on your iPad or your computer. And when you go there, it's going to tell you what the temperature is. So we're going to record that along next to the amount of rainfall. So this is what our chart is going to look like. I've attached something like this on Google Classroom. So you can either print it out or if you don't have a printer, then you can just look at it on your screen and then you can take a piece of paper and just draw it up yourself with a pencil or a marker. It's really easy. Okay, so let's take a look at our rain gauge. And let's say it's Friday and I've decided that I'm going to collect my data around 6 p.m. every day, because that's a good time for me. It's right before dinner and I'll remember. But I can't eat my dinner until I go check my rain gauge. So you're going to go outside at 6 p.m. and let's say your rain gauge looks like this. Now I know it's kind of hard to see this way, so let's actually take a look over here. Let's look over here and pretend that this is our rain gauge. Now, I checked my water level, and my water level is right about here. So that one's pretty easy. I'm just going to look at my water level, and I'm going to go over to the number line that I created, and it's right at about 2 inches. So on that day, for Friday, I'm going to write 6 p.m. because it's 6 p.m. at night or in the evening. And then I'm going to write 2 inches under rainfall. Then I'm going to go to kidsweatherreport.com, see what is the temperature right now, and I'm going to write that down. So let's say it's 50 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's how we write degrees, with a little tiny circle up there, and F for Fahrenheit. Perfect. Not too difficult. However, let's say, oh, and it's really important, after you take one measurement and you record it down on your data table, you need to make sure that you empty your rain gauge back to 0 or to the saturation point. So if you just kind of gently tip it over, and that is almost right. I would set it down on a table to see. And your parents can help you with this, or an adult. Good, now we're back to 0. I'm back to my saturation point. We need to reset before we keep recording for the next days. So now let's say it's Saturday and it's around 6 p.m. just before dinner, and I go out to check my rain gauge, and let's say it looks like this. Now I'm going to blow it up here. Oops. And the water level is right about here. Can you see that? If I look at my number line, it's not quite an inch yet. It is a fraction of an inch. Oh, this is where that math knowledge is going to help you. So if I go down to my number line, what do you see? What fraction do you see? That's right, it's 3/4 or 3/4. So on Saturday, I went out around 6 p.m. and the rainfall was only 3/4 of an inch. So you write it just like your fraction. And let's say it's 43 degrees Fahrenheit. Good. So once again, I'm going to empty out my rain gauge so it goes back to 0, back to our saturation point. Okay. Put it right back where I had it the first time. And then on Sunday, let's say I go back and it looks like this. Now I'll blow this up here. So it's not quite at 2 inches yet, but it's above 1.5 inches. It's just about at the 3/4 mark here. But I already have an inch full of water. So I have 1 and 3/4 inches of rain. Now you have not seen numbers like this before, but it's just going to look like this. 1 and 3/4 inches. Not so hard, right? And you would do the same thing if it was just a quarter. Let's say it was filled to, let's say it rained a lot that day and it was filled to here. It's just above 2 inches. It's not quite 2.5 inches. It is 2 1/4 inch. 2 1/4. And I would just write that like this. 2 1/4 inches. Cool, huh? That's how scientists get really precise. Now, the next part is temperature. So this is a thermometer, and I want you to think back to when we were in the classroom last, and we were looking at how to read a thermometer, and you guys did a really great job. So this time, you're going to get to fill in the thermometer yourself. So let's go back to Friday. Let's say And your paper looks like this. That's an example. It's already filled in for you. So you have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, for the rest of March, for 5 days. So let's go back to Friday, and I'm going to go all the way over to my temperature column, and I recorded that it was 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, that's pretty easy. Well, there it is. It's right on my thermometer. So I'm just going to use a red crayon or a red pencil, and I'm just going to shade up to 50 like this. However, I recorded for Saturday, it was 43 degrees. So on Saturday's thermometer, I have to find 43 somehow. Now, I'm going to give you a little hint. There's not a line for every single degree. So this is what you do. When we're looking at the thermometer, it's going to count up. Each dash is going to represent 2 degrees. So if I start from 30, then this is 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, 42, 44. Well, I'm trying to plot 43 degrees. So if I have 42 and I have 44, how do I do 33? Well, it's simple. Just find a line to draw right in between. So 42 and 43, I'm going right in between. I'm going to draw a line just like that. And then I'm going to shade. Then there's a little box on your paper where you can write 43 degrees F Fahrenheit. Let's try one more. Let's say on Sunday that I recorded it was 48 degrees. Now I know 48 is an even number, so that means it's divisible by 2, which means it's going to be on an exact line. So I'll probably find 40 and count up. 42, 44, 46, 48, and shade. Let's say we had 59 degrees. Whoa, 59 is an odd number, so it's not divisible by 2. So I know I'm going to have to try to do my best to draw a line right in between. So I'll start at 50, 52, 54, 56, 58, and there's 60, so I'm just going to draw a line right in between 58 and 60, and shade. Well, that's it for today, friends. I hope you enjoyed this lesson on how to record your scientific data with your rain gauge. If you have any questions, please let me know on Google Classroom, and I hope you can collect all of your data for 5 days, because when we're finished, we're going to go a little bit more into it. I will teach you how to plot your data that you collected on a graph. So stay tuned, boys and girls. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.